Hi, I welcome all of you. Good day. And I welcome you to a journey through oratory excellence, philosophical inquiry, and timeless wisdom that this presentation unfolds in three segments: a speech that stirred my soul, a topic of modern conundrum, and a story that inspires quiet transformation. So let's move on and see this presentation one by one, starting from our next slide. So in this case, I would like to inform you about the introduction of the speech. So let us commence with a resonant masterpiece, Barack Obama's audacity of hope. This oration transcends political discourse and enters the domain of moral philosophy and human aspiration. So this is like my introduction of the related to the speech, and for the philosophical foundations. If we talk about it, Obama's address is embedded in timeless ideals, unity, justice, and temperance. Ideals revered by ancient philosophers like Plato. So in next slide, I will definitely be talking more about the speech. I like the audacity of the hopes by Barack Obama and the key points to be discussed. Through autobiographical storytelling, Obama skillfully weaves his personal odyssey into the collective American ethos, breathing life into abstraction of hope. Um, and also for the next, Obama's use of language, what kind of language he used. The poetic cadence of his language harmonizes emotions with logic, making his words both memorable and intellectually persuasive. And in the next slide, we will talk more about political and ethical dimensions of his speech. He speaks of an America undivided by partisanship, a vision that metaphorically alludes to the Platonic republic of shared virtues. And if we further go in details, we can see philosophical dualities in the speech. What are those? The speech dances between paradoxes, idealism and realism, memory and aspiration, the individual and the collective. And if we further move on to his speech, we can see a historical reflection as well. Obama confronts historical scars not as burdens but as contrasts that illuminate progress, embracing Hegelian dialects. This is what we see in his address, in his speech. Hope as ethical praxis. This is another way of looking into his speech. Hope in his speech is not a mere sentiment but an ethical resolve, an imperative to persevere with dignity. This is what you will see in his speech. And the impact and the legacy. What is the impact and the legacy? His rhetoric becomes a torch of moral clarity amidst the fog of cynicism, renewing public trust and civic engagement. And if we move on to the conclusion and personal reflection for his speech, uh, like in his speech, you see hope in his speech. There is ethical resolve, and to me, this speech is a paragon of public speaking, articulate, courageous, and profoundly philosophical. So, if we move on to our next related topic, introduction to digital freedom. This is a topic that I chose to discuss today. So now let us contemplate a compelling paradox of our era, freedom in the digital age. Has our pursuit of liberty been supplanted by digital servitude? That's what we have to see in this topic. Democratization versus the control. We celebrate digital connectivity, yet we fail to recognize the invisible strings and algorithmic control. So the topic further tells us philosophical viewpoints on the freedom. Uh, Freedom, as Rousseau taught us, is not just liberty from constraints, but sovereignty over our will and awareness as well. So this is what the philosophical viewpoints on freedom. And if we talk about the illusion of choice, if we talk about illusion of choice, today's illusion of choice is a curated reality. Algorithms preempt our thoughts and behaviors. And if we further move on to better understand the digital determinism, so we can conclude that this is not autonomy, it is algorithmic determinism masquerading personal freedom. And also, we would like to talk about the isolation in a connected world. What is that? Despite hyperconnectivity, a sense of alienation pervades. We are surrounded yet solitary. So, we will further discuss this with metaphysics of digital identity. What is that? The digital realm immortalizes our data but diminishes our transient humanity, posing existential questions of selfhood. And if we further move on to the path to conscious and participation, as I chose the topic, rather than fleeing from technology, we must wield it with discernment and digital mindfulness. And for this important topic, freedom through the awareness, it's very important to understand authentic freedom lies not in data access but in conscious engagement and self-awareness. So this is what we had in the topic and the speech I selected. And if we conclude the digital stewardship, we will come up with let us become vigilant architects of our digital identities, embracing this paradox with critical insight and moral responsibility. So, lastly, for the third one, I would like to share a story. Story I like to tell is the man who planted trees. It's a very interesting story, and we will discuss the key points about this. Let us become. Let's talk about a narrative of quiet nobility. Jean Giano's The Man Who Planted Trees. It is a tale of resilience, purpose, and ecological rebirth. The protagonist, Alzire Bouffier, plants acorns in barren land, not for acclaim but for a future unseen. So, themes of hope and patience, if we talk related to this story, his work embodies patient hope and enduring philosophy in an age obsessed with immediacy. So, for this particular story, action without recognition, this is very important. He labors in anonymity, teaching that greatness often thrives in silence and selflessness. And if we further move on deep into the story, we talk about Kantian moral philosophy. So, Bouffier exemplifies Kantian ethics. His actions are universally moral, independent of recognition. And also, the environmental rejuvenation, that's also a part of the story. Amidst war and ruin, he orchestrates quiet restoration, a rebellion against human negligence in his story, and also Stoic philosophy and action. Uh, like a Stoic, he controls what he can, his actions, his intent, his commitment to nature. This is also the part of the story. And then now the order from Charles, if we discuss that, from desolation, he cultivates harmony, echoing nature's divine rhythm in the story. And also the lessons from the story, what we got. The story illustrates that transformative change is not always loud. It can be planted slowly and humbly. This is a part of his story. And the personal takeaway and the conclusion, we are almost there for the conclusion of the story. Uh, May we all strive to be such gardener of future, nurturing unseen forests through deliberate, compassionate acts. So these were like my three things that I presented. One was the speech of Barack Obama, other was the topic that I selected, and the third was a story that I wanted to share with you. That was a philosophical story. Thanks for being with me. Thank you.